We had a little bit of a controversy this week when we made the mistake of telling the truth about Iowa's voting rolls. Our study showed there were 8 counties over 100% of the rolls. 8 counties. Only 18,000 names, but that's a lot of names for Iowa. And so the blowback was outrageous. There's a Secretary of State, Secretary Fitton, Iowa, Republican, who falsely accused us of putting out this information. And what was the basis for that? They said we used old data. He said you should use new census data and unconfirmed data we put that he doesn't certify and won't be finalized in terms of what the actual numbers are, at least for federal government purposes, until next year. He says that shows a different result. Well, even using his new data, you know what his new data shows? 5 counties over 100% of the voting rolls. Nearly 3 dozen counties over 95%. Why is that number important? Let me tell you this. Frankly, any registration rate in a county, the registration rates tend to be 80% or lower. 80% is like on a really high-end range. 75% is probably a fairer number. So when you're at 95% and above, warning lights go off. When you're at 100% and above, the whistles go off. And so on the basis of this misinformation, they attacked us. The media falsely accused us of putting out false information, even though our information is the best available information out there, which is consistent with new information, which frankly isn't as reliable. Washington Post was particularly dishonest because they said the initial headline was Judicial Watch puts out false claims of voter fraud. And we did nothing of the sort. We didn't allege voter fraud. Obviously, if you have dirty voting rolls, it may encourage voter fraud or may result in voter fraud, but we didn't allege any voter fraud. And I pushed back on the Washington Post. I sent an email. There's a story, maybe we can link it at Real Clear Investigations or Real Clear Politics by Mark Hemingway that describes what went on. I pushed back on the Washington Post. I said, you need to correct your headline. It's false. We did not allege voter fraud. And they wrote back saying, well, saying they're dirty election rolls is the same thing as saying voter fraud. I mean, it's Orwellian what the liberals in the media are willing to do and say to justify their lies about a group they don't like, which is Judicial Watch.
Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch all the latest news from Judicial Watch.